All right, so I hit the button. Now what do we do?
Hi,
All
I'm
right.
Brandi.
All right, so everybody, this is Thomas Zachary and the KAAMP. That is the Knoxville Area Artist Networking Platform. Today on the podcast, I have two comedians, and so far they've been great. So if you would please introduce yourselves, I would greatly appreciate it.
Hey, my name is Maxwell, coming from Wilmington, North Carolina.
And I am Brandi Augustus. I live in Knoxville now, but I was born in Plainfield, New Jersey, and I was raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. I also did a bid in Little Rock, Arkansas, but we don't talk about that too.
That's a story for another time.
That's not on the resume. That stays.
Yeah, yeah.
So are y'all excited? Let's
I
talk
also
about.
appreciate us getting reviews before the podcast even started. We just starting, and you called us great. So I feel zero compunction to bring anything else to this for however long we're going. You told me we're great at less than a minute in. That's all I pursue. So we're golden.
Well, I'll say right now that I try to only present the best and the brightest to my listeners, and I feel like sometimes I succeed.
I love that for you.
Well, luckily,
Thank
I
you for
only get
complimenting
limited
us
feedback.
and you at the same time. It was perfect.
It all works out. It's a win-win-win. So, how long have y'all been doing your thing as comedians and creative vocal artists?
I've been performing stand up. I started when I started college. I've been performing for about 13 years. I was about to say 23 years because I'm bad at math. I've been doing it for 13 years. Started at UNCW where I went to school, and now I've been performing in Wilmington and surrounding areas for for about 13 years now. Um, I've been writing my whole life, and it just kind of took a long time of me writing jokes that I would tell nobody, or I would casually slip into a conversation as if it wasn't an already written bit before I started feeling like it was okay to want to be a person on stage that says these things. But I really do love it, having it as an outlet. Like it is the thing where I feel most myself.
What about you, Brandi?
So I've been doing stand-up comedy. I'm in my 5th year now. But I got started, I was hosting poetry for a couple of years or whatever. But poetry, this is going to sound so strange because I didn't win a poetry competition. I just placed 7th out of like over 100 people. In my first ever poetry competition this past weekend. But I'm like, wow. Poetry's not my bag.
But you didn't score too bad either.
I did not score too bad at all. I think my final score was, I forget, it was up there out of 90. It was like 86.8 or something. Like my final score after the whole competition. But I had started writing poetry, but that was the only outlet of expression that I knew. But I realized with my poetry before was like really deep, talking about trauma and like just creating more harm for myself. And I did not like that. I did not like how I felt after I performed, because then people would come up to you and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And I'm like, I don't want people to feel sorry for me, especially not down here in the South. You never want white people to feel sorry for you, because that's a different level of like, like sympathy.
I am so sorry. How much of this is my fault? I just met you. I just met you. We're good.
So I stopped doing poetry. But I would still host poetry slams. I host the show or an event called Po Boys and Poets with my best good friend, Black Atticus, who is a poet, an MC, one of the greatest wordsmiths I've ever met. But I've never done my poetry with it. And but I started doing comedy because I would have to fill all this empty time that we would have at these events because only like 2 poets would show up, but we got the venue for 2 hours. What do? Ramble. I will ramble
Right.
and tell
You
all
gotta do
my
something.
business. And I realized the way in which I deliver my stories and it just generally speaking things that I've gone through is kind of funny when you think about it. You know, so I started there, and from there, I coined myself as the radical storyteller or a radical storyteller because there's many of us out there. And that's because my comedy is just based on stories from my life. And it wasn't until like I got the time to like really see my impact of these stories on people on a poetry crowd specifically that wasn't expecting comedy. I was like, okay, I should start hitting these open mics.
Yeah, so you flipped the script on the whole
mics
room.
About 5 years ago.
So you'd walk in and tell jokes when people are trying to be serious and read, legit poetry and flip the whole room.
I think that's what got me through this weekend, to be honest. Because like Southern Fried Poetry Slam is the largest, like it's a regional poetry slam, but it is the largest in the nation. And this year it happened to be held in Knoxville. And it was like, well, Knoxville has to have a team. We cannot not have a team.
True. We got plenty of teams here.
Yeah, Atticus hit me up and he was like, I want you on my team. And the people that he had on his team were champions. From 20 years ago, Daniel Roop was a national slam champion 20 years ago. And then Lane Schuler and Jonathan Courageous Clark, they go by INK. They actually tour during their poetry. They have an agent and everything. They go to colleges and stuff. And then Black Atticus, like I said, he's one of the greatest wordsmiths I've ever met. So I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I would love to be on this team, but are y'all ready? they know me for comedy. So even Lane, he was like, and I've known Lane for about 13 years. He was like, if you're not feeling really comfortable with it, we can go, you can say no and there'll be no hard feelings. I was like, well, shit, let me tell you what I got first. Don't count me out already.
Right.
You're coming with the modifiers. I just want to get on. Like, I just want to be right.
So I share with them some of my comedy sets, and I was like, I would love to turn these into poems, and I did it. And it was so good that like we weren't really banking on me to be the anchor or whatever for the team. That was never the plan, but that ended up the plan. After the best poem on our team, like it's won championships for years. With Poetry Slam, you get rated on a scale between 0 and 10. Mm-hmm. 0 being it's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life, and then 10 like it's transformative. They rated this poem that actually got INK booked a 2. The room went crazy because everybody was like, "You don't know words. You must be illiterate."
Who gets to decide this? Are these former who are these?
No, they are random judges that are supposed to have no affiliation with any poet or poetry team. But also what I've realized is because I was a victim of this.
Right.
Like I was a ploy. Like people will bring in their judges and be like, you don't know me, don't say anything, but make sure you judge my bout and you judge it fairly. I got tricked in. Okay, y'all about to learn a lot about me.
Hell yeah, here we go. Let's get it.
The first poetry Southern Fried I ever attended was here in Knoxville in 2010. And at that time, I will not say his name. And if I mess up and say his name, I'm gonna try not to say it.
I'll edit it out for you.
I met this poet, had a crush on him, like just aesthetically pleasing. And I love people who know I'm always attracted to the smartest person in the room. I don't know why that is. And it's never healthy. It's never a healthy relationship.
That boner is easy to get.
But I had been like looking at this guy for a while or whatever, or for a few years, and then I finally I had gotten married and then divorced and all this stuff, and like in my lonely phase, and I hit him up. I was like, I don't know if you remember me from Knoxville, but I really like this picture of yours. I really would like to get to know you. So we started talking, and the picture, it was of him wearing a white shirt, and he had on like this leather vest, but you could only see like the leather. It was like a leather harness or whatever. I was like, something about that is sexy as shit. Why is this sexy to me? And he was like, well, because I'm a dom. And I said, oh, for real? And I had heard of the lifestyle, but I was not a part of the lifestyle, you know.
You was about to get a part of the lifestyle.
Yeah. Started talking to some sensibilities in me that I didn't know existed. So now
you got tricked on the subconscious level, just like you didn't even know what the picture was about, but it's smoke.
It's art, Picasso. So we're talking, and he's telling me all these things that he thinks I would enjoy and all this, and I am intrigued. So he's like, you should come down to Southern Fried this year, and we can make your fantasy a reality. That was a lie.
Big claims.
Because I get down there, and we go to lunch, and over lunch, he tells me, yeah, so I do need you to be a judge for this bout where we're going up against the number one team in the nation. So can't nobody see us together all day, because I don't want people to know that you are down here for us. And my dumb, happy-go-lucky ass said, sure. So now I'm down here.
You got seduced into a judging scam?
Yes, that's what happened.
Sex happened. Why didn't sex happen? Because he lied to me and told me that he was like, well, tomorrow we have our last bout or whatever, and my team, my slam master, doesn't want us leaving the hotel room. We can't smoke, we can't drink, and we can't have sex. You knew this before I came down here, because I know your slam master, and I knew that's how he rolled.
Why is the Slam Master imposing Olympic athlete rules?
Also, why is he called Slam Master if he won't let you slam?
That shows the level of this. Okay?
You're not a Slam Master if you don't let people slam.
You're about to play the Sugar Bowl tomorrow, and your football coach doesn't want you distracted. You can't do nothing before the slam poetry, and he didn't tell you any of that before you came down.
Because he only wanted me to be a judge.
Brandi, I'm so sorry.
So hurt.
I'd have been pissed too. I ain't even gonna kid. Screw that guy. That's some bullshit. I've been mad as hell.
Did that turn into a poem? Because that sounds like poem material.
It turned into a haiku.
Ooh,
let me see if I can remember it. Wait a minute. I got it on my phone. Let me just pull it up.
I'm so happy I'm here right now. This is amazing.
But not only did it turn into a poem, it's like I was able to distill this.
Yes, exactly.
I was able to take this whole experience, turn it into a 575.
And you know, I love that word, distill, because it works so perfectly with how the creative process sort of works its way from your brain to your fingers.
Right. I like that. I hadn't thought of that. You're a creative distillery.
Yeah, I mean, you would be foolish to think that your outside influences don't somehow get, funneled in through your eyes and your ears and your taste buds and all the ways we interface with the world.
Yep.
And then, you can't keep those out of the things that come out of you. You just can't.
Absolutely. No, for sure. That's a thing I keep thinking about a lot lately, especially I've been just rewatching stuff I watched as a kid lately, and I'm like, oh, so that's why I'm me. That's why this one episode of Fresh Prince formed my whole personality. It's constant.
I'm gonna say I learned stoicism from Samurai Jack, and I'm okay with it.
I like that.
Samurai Jack is some good shit.
Yeah.
If you're not up on Gendy Tartarovsky, that's a thing you need to be up on. I suggest everybody get up on that.
No, it's a top 10 all-time show. I love Samurai Jack.
Anything that man's made, I'll watch happily.
Yeah. I don't know, anything that I like that. I watched Samurai Jack. Now I am stoic, like a time displaced samurai. I wait for my moment.
That means I'm also constantly riddled with how the fuck did I get here? Constantly. Every time I wake up. Ugh.
I think you just are Samurai Jack. I think you just are.
I've never worn a top knot, so I can't say, you know. Brandi, did you find it?
You know what? No, I did not. And I realized I was a terrible note keeper when I first started this stuff.
Okay, so now that you
like,
say
literally,
that.
it's just like one, I don't know, yeah, I have my blur on, but it's like maybe 30 thumb scroll.
Oh, so you're
jokes.
deep in there.
I was deep in there. I was like, God, is this Wheel of Fortune? What am I doing? What?
Well, okay, so that's kind of a question I like to ask the people I have on the show. Like, what's your notepad on your phone look like?
That's a good question.
Oh, I love this question because no two people ever give me the same answer. But there's not a whole lot of in the middle of these extremes either.
No, mine is better now. It's much better than it was. My notes, I do a note for not every thought, but I do a note for every show. What jokes am I going to do for this show? And then when it's stuff like working out or to-dos or whatever, I do keep those in one the same note or whatever, because I have 1,300 notes in my phone.
Oh wow, yeah.
I'll admit to having a shit ton, but it ain't that many.
Notes, emails, text messages, and missed calls—they're all in the thousands, right?
Do you still have the red bubbles on your phone? Because I got the red bubbles, and it stresses my wife out.
It doesn't bother me. It stresses other people out when they look at it. It's not a problem for me.
I'm stressed out talking about it right now and knowing there are 4-digit numbers in those bubbles. Like, I'm sitting here trying to envision that on my phone, and just looking at that on the screen of my phone is some bullshit I will never subject myself to.
The fun part is anytime you hit another digit on there, the numbers get a tiny bit smaller.
Oh, that doesn't comfort me. That does not comfort me at all. True, but no, it doesn't help.
I've got on my notes, I've got one note that I've had since I started doing comedy. So this note's been on my phone for 13 years, and it's just anytime I get a premise idea, I add it to the note. So it's a super long note that I have backed up several times over because I am terrified of accidentally just deleting my entire history. So if I get a premise idea, I'll just jot it down on the iPhone note, and then I'll take it to a notebook later or a Word doc or something and flesh it out there. And then I've got another note that's just all my set list. So all the set lists are all in one note, so that way I can be like, oh, what did I do last time I was here? Scroll through it. What did I do the last few shows? Scroll through it. And then my voice memo is just anytime I'm certain I'm going to forget the bit before I get to a notebook, I just have random voice memos of me doing comedy to myself. Just being like, okay, but what? Okay, so if you don't like gay people, that's homophobic. But if you don't like black people, why isn't that called negrophobic? And just record that into a voice note, so I can listen back to it later and be like, oh no, that was a bad idea. But it's there. It's recorded for posterity.
I like that. I did find a haiku finally too.
Yes, let's hear it.
Okay. The fuck this boy do? You know the fuck that boy did. That's what fuck boys do.
That is art. That is art.
I thoroughly love that. Even if I didn't know the story, I would love that. But knowing the story, that is.
I feel like that's going to be on somebody's wall someday. It's an updated, more contextualized "Live, Laugh, Love," but of real significance. It's this is a lesson. Be reminded of this lesson because you love yourself.
Yes, never forget.
Never.
Oh I'm so glad you found that. That's hilarious.
I needed that in my life today. I didn't know it till just then, but I did.
The fuck this boy do? Oh my gosh, that's so good.
That boy did. That's what boys do.
That's about as close as cause and effect as you can get in that format.
That's so beautiful.
It brought a lot of healing.
Yeah, getting lost in the process.
Did you ever perform that?
I have not. I wanted to perform it. I only did Southern Fried. I told them when Knoxville won the bid for Southern Fried that I wanted to join the team. I did manifest this whole thing because I want to join the Knoxville team because I did want to do that poem in front of him.
Right.
But he didn't have a team for the Southern Fried. He sat this one out. But I will be down in Pompano Beach, Florida next year for the next Southern Fried, so I can do it because I heard that he was going.
Cut a promo, Brandi. Let him know.
Hell yeah. Tell him.
Listen here, jabroni. We're coming.
I want to outscore him. He think that he hot shit. You are not. You are the shit for a little moment. You are okay. And that was back in 2010.
And he didn't even fuck. Lame.
Fun was on the Billboard 100 back when you were the shit. You ain't been the shit.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, I love that. No, go get him, Brandi. Let him know. And also stop. You said 7th out of 100 this weekend.
7th. I got 7th out of 100.
That's amazing. Don't downplay that.
It was like 148.
That's incredible. That's really.
Yeah, I like how you just casually mentioned this when it's really pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, that's.
He's just like, oh, just 7th out of like 100 and something. Nah, that shit's cool. That's top 10%.
Cool. Thank you. I feel like I'm still processing it because I don't know. It was a long week and things were happening and it was like I made a lot of connections, met a lot of people. I don't know if y'all ever watched Def Poetry Jam.
Right.
Do you remember? You may not remember the name, but Flo Mentals. So he did a poem like, they call me drama. I'm the baby mama that filed with child support after you give her the $200. They call me drama. Like, right. And it also had a poem where it's like, I'm a constant patient of constipation. It has this whole poem about being constipated.
I'm a constant patient. Oh, jeez.
Man.
Sounds like
so I met him. I met Flo Mentals, and I was a fan of Flo Mentals when I was in high school. So now to be Facebook friends with this man, like be in space, we got selfies together. He wants to get me up from Jersey. We both from Plainfield, New Jersey.
Hey.
So for me, that was the highlight. Like I got to meet, how they say never meet your idols or whatever, but I'm like, right. What is really an idol? It's the nigga I saw. So I'm on TV, love him. So I was happy.
That's amazing, though. That's really cool. I love that he's bringing you up. That's amazing.
Yeah. I got booked for Chicago, too, to come and do a poetry thing in Chicago. I don't think I told y'all. I only have 3 poems, and one of them I wrote the day of I performed it. Like, we needed one more poem for Friday, so I wrote it. I can't go on tour with 3 poems.
Well, it sounds like you got a phone call with 3 poems.
That speaks to the strength of those 3 poems, though. I think that's you're doing more with less, is what I'm saying.
That's effective and efficient.
It's quality, yes, exactly. Quality over quantity, exactly, yeah. That's hilarious.
So since we're on the topic of performing, let's talk about the reason why we're here and enjoying each other's company right now. So it's the Black Power Rangers comedy tour, right?
Right. So Black Power Rangers comedy tour. This is our 2nd year doing it. This is a tour put together. Me and my wife produce it and run logistics and things like that on it. But we produced it last year. Last year we did 4 cities. This year we're doing it again. We're growing it. We're doing 10. We're coming to Knoxville. We're super excited about it. The idea of this basically being, I've been performing in Wilmington for a long time, and in my time being a North Carolina comic, I've met a lot of really incredible Black comedians who I'm like, oh, I love you, I love what you're doing, and then we never get booked on shows together.
So you got to make it happen for yourself.
Exactly. So last year we put a lineup together of 4 of us, and we went town to town. This year we're doing 10 cities. We got 2 different legs. So touring with us is going to be myself, Brandi Roberts out of Raleigh, Cordero Wilson and Gerard Fortune. Both of them also came up through the Wilmington scene with me. They now live in New York. Jordan Sentry out of Charlotte, super funny comic out of Charlotte. He also does really funny music video commentaries on TikTok and Instagram. If you haven't seen these, they are hilarious. Just visit his page. They're out of pocket and so funny.
On the radar then.
And joining us this year, Matt White, who when I started doing comedy, Matt was like my mentor. Like Matt was who I was going to, like asking for advice on writing in the industry. And I'm so excited to have him join us this year. This guy's been Port City's top comic, North Carolina's funniest person. He's just been doing his thing for a long time, and really excited to have him with us. And what's dope about what we're doing this time is, as we go city to city, we're trying to expand the network of Black Power Rangers. So when we come to Knoxville, we get to work with Brandi, and I am so excited about that because I already know that's going to be an amazing show. Every person I've asked to join the show, the invitation came after, I don't want to say stalking period, but
intense vetting.
Yeah, vetting. Thank you. That's a much better word. So by the time I met Brandi, I'd already watched YouTube videos of her, and I was like, hey, so would you want to do the show, throwing out the invitation, going please say yes. It's going to be so much fun. So so excited to have Brandi with us. We're going to be at Central Cinema in Knoxville. Nirvana Comics is sponsoring us, which is super exciting for us.
Yeah.
So they're helping. They hooked us up with Central Cinema, and through Nirvana Comics, we also met a really incredible artist named Andy Gordon, who created our dope poster art that we just shared this week. So Knoxville, out of every place we're going to, Knoxville has just already shown so much love for Black Power Rangers. So we're really, really excited to be doing it. And Brandi, I know you muted, but I gotta know, who was that? Who was that?
Yeah,
I know you muted to be professional and not bring up.
Listen, I'm gonna go ahead.
I see a dog. I want to meet the dog.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that I suffered the same fate, so it kind of cracked me up that her dog was on screen while the dog I'm sitting was just like, "Hey, dude, what you doing?" Just off camera. Yes, the exact same time, just off camera. I look up from being like, "Yeah, dude, I'm on video right now, I'm petting him and stuff," and then there's a dog on the screen.
Oh no, that's Megan. Okay.
Oh no.
Who's Megan? She anytime my Malinois is a rescue, and she's safest under my desk. But she knocks all my cords loose.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But the one that you saw before is Bear, and Bear is my pandemic puppy. He is 3 now, and he was not socialized. He is I could like to compare him to one of those kids that you see in Walmart that got all silver cap teeth.
Oh my God. You know they just a little on the edge all the time and don't brush their teeth a lot. That's what a niche reference to a big part of my childhood. Not so much me having the caps, but being around a lot of people that did.
You know, those were special kids. They drank a lot of Mountain Dew.
You'd catch them licking windows sometimes if you were good.
Yeah.
Bless them. Yeah, I mean, y'all toured around through Appalachia. I grew up all up in this shit. Like, I've lived in East Tennessee my whole life. I've been all over the Southeast and a little bit out west, but like this neck of the woods is my neck of the woods, and I know like I'm very familiar with all the bullshit. I was steeped in it, as they might say.
Word.
So Knoxville shows out, and so one of the questions I like to ask is like, Knoxville treats you good as a creative person? So obviously they do, and I'm super stoked to hear that. But since this is a tour, where else are y'all excited about being?
So this year we're going to kick off in Raleigh. We're in Raleigh July 26th at Watson Ward. And then from there, we're going to go the first leg of the tour where we're doing 5 shows back-to-back starts in Charlotte. So we're in Charlotte August 15th. And then the very next show, we're going from Charlotte to Knoxville. That's August 16th. That's where we're going to be at Central Cinema. Then we go Knoxville to Nashville, August 17th. Going to Atlanta, August 18th. And then we're going to Greenville, South Carolina, to go to Alchemy Theater, August 19th. Greenville had us last year. They were so much fun, so we're excited to come back and do that. So that rounds out our first leg of the tour. And then the second leg is when Matt White joins us, and Gerard Fortune joins us for the second leg. And we start in my hometown at the Dead Pro Comedy Room in Wilmington, North Carolina, August 23rd. And then the August 24th, we go through Richmond, Virginia, meet up with Francesca Lynn at Coalition Theater. And then from there, August 25th, we're at Washington, D.C. And August 26th, we're ending in Baltimore, Maryland. So Knoxville, second stop of the first leg. So we're going to keep the energy up all 10 cities, but y'all are going to get us fresh. Y'all are going to get us.
Yeah, and Central Cinema is a great venue for comedy, too, I feel like. I haven't seen comedy there, but I do like that room a lot.
Do you strike me as the type that might like Dungeons and Dragons as well. Is that a wrong assessment? Am I out of pocket?
Okay, so technically yes, but thematically no way.
So role playing, but not Dungeons and Dragons?
Okay, no, I enjoy such fantasy things, I just don't play that game.
Well, I don't play it either, so you should come and watch me not know how to play it at Central Cinema on June 26th.
Oh shit! That sounds like a ton of fun.
It is. It'll be the second session. They're running every last Wednesday of the month at Central Cinema through October, and I was on the first one. I'll be on this next one, and I'll be on the one in July for sure.
Are you playing the same character every time?
Yes, and I had no idea what I was doing when I built that motherfucker.
Give us a rundown, please.
I didn't know what a tiefling druid was. I didn't know that I was the descendant of the devil. Why was I created in hell? Why do people hate me so much? I don't.
Did you pick tiefling, or did who was?
Oh.
Instructions. It came with a link. He said, "Here, build your character." I said, "Okay."
And here we are.
What did you pick based on? Did you just like the sound tiefling, or how did you? Because I don't know what a tiefling is either. So this is news to me. I'm learning.
I feel like I heard my oldest son say something because he's in a D&D.
Yeah.
And I feel like that word was familiar from him. But I don't know if it was like, oh, I love tieflings, or I was a tiefling. It could have been I hate fucking tieflings, and anybody who's a tiefling can suck my dick. I don't know. I just remember hearing it.
So you went with what's familiar, what's comfortable, being a demon spawn from hell kind of thing, and just went balls to the wall with this.
I don't.
Yeah. That's admirable right there. That is valiant. I appreciate that dedication.
Demon spawn from hell.
Yeah, so they know shit about shit. Don't run around very much. Wear robes, maybe.
So what? Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to.
No, I was just saying things. Literally, that's all I was going to say. Things.
I didn't want to cut you off while you were saying things. Thomas, why don't you? So you like fantasy stuff, high fantasy stuff, all of that, but why not Dungeons and Dragons?
Oh, that's definitely. So I'm gonna say this is like drinking coffee because it's something that I would view as like a hobby or outlet, and I would just dive straight to the bottom of the rabbit hole, and I know how much time I don't have to do shit with in my life. I mean, this is really one of those things. This is why I paint and I draw and I talk to nice people on the microphone, and that's it. Like, outside of those things, I curate art shows for me and my friends, and that is honestly the like four big areas of where all my time and energy creatively go, and those are the things I really need to stick to because if I drank coffee or played D&D, I would have no time for all the other things, and I would be really
That's a
upset with
very
myself.
responsible answer. I like that.
Honestly, I love somebody who's self-aware.
Oh yeah, I know I'm a selfish prick, so like I gotta just do the things that are the things that are good for me and really enjoy them, or else I'm just gonna lose myself in whatever the fuck is going on. But I enjoy such games. It's just I don't spend time playing them a lot because card games are more my speed. If we're talking about games, I will fucking annihilate anybody that sits across the table from me in Uno. I dare you. So, you know, I feel pretty okay with the amount of energy I put into a deck of Uno cards.
I like it, the energy in which you said that. I believe you.
I play a lot of really
fucking
cutthroat
love me
games of
some
shit
Uno.
against AIs and my best friends. I'm not gonna lie, me and my friends, we have a Facebook group chat that has been going for like 8 years now. We're all high school buddies, and we game and really just tear each other apart really bad. You know, say all the worst shit because you know we love each other, so we talk terribly to one another. It's great. These fellas keep me sane. They let me say all the terrible things.
Brandi, is it weird that I want to play Uno with Thomas right now?
Oh, don't
I
even.
do too. Because I just want to shut him the fuck up because like I don't.
Yeah,
we
please
didn't
come
get
on,
to-
come on. I'm here
you
for
know,
it. I'm here for it. You
we-
and you may get me,
Thomas,
and you may get
we
me.
are both in Knoxville.
I know. I'm
Is it
listen.
possible
And
to
if you
play
beat
Uno
me,
over Zoom? Is there like an app I can? Is there like a website or something where we could just do this?
do you have a PlayStation 4?
Right now.
If you have a PlayStation 4, we can play Uno on the PlayStation 4 right now.
Is that a real thing?
Yes, it is.
I don't have a PS4.
All right, we'll just have to
generation
settle.
behind. I'm afraid I got a PS3 and an Xbox 360. I'm 2 generations behind. I'm
See,
Ubisoft probably has you
I'm
covered.
setting my sons up. I'm setting my sons up for like unrealistic expectations because I bought my youngest son a PS5 for Christmas.
So you should take it away from him next Christmas.
I felt like, you know, like he was an unemployed boyfriend or something. Because what this little motherfucker need a PS5 for? He ain't got no job. Like, I got to buy the games, too.
He don't even know
like,
what paying taxes is.
And the games and the Wi-Fi. And
just pampering. Just.
I feel like I've been in this relationship before. I don't.
You have, but it's different now because you care about this one.
Yeah, there you go, Thomas.
True.
Thomas, with the essential truth that sometimes love is the difference.
Hey, sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. Not gonna lie. Makes all the difference. You know, that $600 like fucking PlayStation, it stings a little less when you're like, oh, but he'll love it.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I'm still paying on that. I love Klarna. Klarna and Afterpay.
Dangerous.
Right, yeah. But yeah, if you want to get down on some Uno, I will do it.
Klarna because I was not good with it.
I have to try very hard to respectfully use my credit card.
Yeah. Oh man, I disrespected my Apple Card as soon as I got her.
Listen,
I'm
I
still
stick at
trying
places.
to like
It's
be in
just,
that relationship. Oh man, I treated her like a slut. The slut she is, damn it. She.
It's like, I'm different now. You can trust me. We can do this.
And then it's just like. But you said.
You only come to me when you want something.
Oh. Retail therapy makes me happy.
And you should want me to be happy. Don't you want me happy?
And that's
Don't
when the
you
guilt
want
trip
me
starts.
happy?
You have been, Brandi, you have been gaslit before. Don't you want me happy? It's such a scary sentence. Don't you want me happy? Oh my God.
Does that make me broken? Yeah.
There's trauma.
We've all lived life, and that's why we make the fucked up shit we make.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Art.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we're here, because without it, we would have never met.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, me and you for sure, Thomas, because what the hell?
I don't know. I really don't. But I will say that I have this thing about making the world a smaller place, and I mean that in a really good way, because I like being in a room with all my friends, and all my friends know my friends. I hate being in a room full of people I call my friends, and none of them know each other. That bugs the piss out of me, so I just like, hey, everybody, this is everybody.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that a lot.
I mean, otherwise, I'm just the one person everybody knows, and it's really awkward for everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
I always am that person. It makes it hard for me to date, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you know everybody, like you can't go anywhere without somebody not knowing you. And it's like people know me for different reasons. It's not like everybody know me for comedy. Some people know me for organizing. Some people know me from like the boards that I sit on and things like that. And I'm like really good about not like holding people in conversation. It's just, oh hey, yeah, good to see you. All right, come on. You know, but people who are very introverted and people who are not used to being with somebody that like just knows people, they don't like. Is a very hard relationship.
Yeah, it's weird.
Right.
It can be kind of weird walking around town and you see 3 or 4 people and you know, and then whoever you're with is just like, is it like that all the time? Yeah, and then you're like, oh, I'm sorry, these mild interactions for me were like traumatizing for you as we walk the 100 block of Gay Street. Like,
right. And I'm just at that point, I'm like, well, why don't you know anybody?
it's like, I know you get out of the house, you go to the grocery store. It's like, how have you not met people at the grocery store?
Where are your friends?
Yeah, and then you look at them like, you got friends, right?
I married a man who didn't have friends.
I mean,
I didn't know that he didn't have friends. I thought the people that was around him were his friends. Those were not his friends. Those were like his bandmates, his co-workers.
Yeah.
He did not have friends.
Yeah. There's a difference. That is a difference, and that's not an easy thing to observe about somebody else.
no, at least not like right offhand, anyway.
Yeah.
So, how long did it take you to figure it out?
Years. When I realized, when things got rough, and I realized there was nobody that could hold him accountable, because you know, like if you're in an intimate relationship with somebody, maybe they can't see what you're saying. Like, you know,
right.
there's some hindrance there or whatever. So my thing is like, you know, who are you close to? Who can we bring in that feels like a safe space to you? You know, because like that's not necessarily what I need, but I see that's what you need. But he didn't have anybody.
Right.
He had his pastor and pastor's wife, and they were not helpful at all.
Yeah.
Are they ever?
Say it again.
I said, are they ever?
No. Right?
You know,
have y'all watched the Duggar documentary or heard about the Duggar documentary?
You know what? That's some screwy shit. That's a whole mess. They got what they deserve, though, in my book.
Yeah, everything. What I realized was when I first moved to Knoxville in 2010, I was a part of that cult.
Right.
I was a part of that cult. I had moved. I guess I will not say the name of that church, but because they still functioning. But here in Knoxville is one of them big ass mini mega churches, and I was one of those. I was a single mom, black. Only one in the church that had my like demographics or whatever. Yeah. There were black families, but very nuclear, like core families.
Right.
Yeah.
So like everybody felt sorry for me, and that's when I realized, ooh, I don't like white guilt. I don't like. Yeah. This is rougher than like just being oppressed. Like,
so walking into church late from the back of the room and getting stared at by everybody like you're the actual devil. Is something I didn't really enjoy either growing up, if we're going to be honest about it.
I always felt like I was the one that they would like whisper to their kids about, like, and see, if you don't follow the Lord, that's how you'll end up.
Right.
Like, you know?
Yeah. That is uncomfortable. Like, you don't want to be the example or the pity case, or like, they're not, you come to church because you want to like have friends and have fellowship and have people that got your back, not people who are making you their job. Like making you like, God told me to be nice to you, so I will. Like that's not.
And now I realize like people are the reason I don't like church.
Yup.
You know?
Yeah. Exactly.
I used to go to because I grew up in like black churches, and then I started going to like multicultural churches when I got older, and I decided I'm kind of done with that. There's a multicultural church that I was going to for a while, and the pastor got up and said, "Let's praise God for our multicultural church," and everyone started clapping, and I started looking around, and I was like, "Oh, it's me. I'm the multicultural part of the."
You're the.
I'm the. They're all thanking God for me. I was like looking around the room. I was like, "Oh no!"
Ooh. I mean,
when
that's
did this happen?
okay? So
that was my last Sunday there. When I was like, when it took them to say it out loud for me to notice, like.
So did you feel any sort of positive after that?
Fred Hammond song every 4 Sundays doesn't mean that this is a multicultural church.
Hey, Fred Hammond slapped though.
No, I'm not coming for Fred Hammond.
Well,
I would never.
But did you feel any sort of good about being the one everybody was just like, yes, we have it? To being, idolized in such a weird way. Was it not like, oh fuck, look, yeah.
There is only so much good feeling that can come from being a token. and it runs out.
Well, at least you recognize it.
So it was a very familiar situation where I was like, oh, I was upheld as this in school, and I was upheld in this in the workplace. I don't need church to be another place where I'm filling some sort of quota for you to feel good about yourself. So I get what you mean about just like the kind of like, oh yeah, Wills is here, yay, let's clap. But it was just like, it's very much like, it's always anytime someone like kind of like looks at me to be the novelty or to be the token or for whatever, that's the instant I'm like, this is not fun for me, I'm out. There's a sketch troupe here that I love. I love these guys. They're very funny. I work with them from time to time. Years ago, they asked me to join it, and they said, we need a black guy. And I was like,
that's not
it won't be me. You better ask somebody else and try that pitch differently, because it's not appealing. It's not appealing to be the one.
Not the right hook, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Like, true, diversity or whatever, naturally, I can work with, because I like people, I like everybody, I like folks, but it's just, I'm not a quota. I'm not a token. I'm not the way you're getting into heaven.
What I hate is like being on lineups that just happen to be all women.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, all female show. Shut the fuck up. Because you don't say that when it's all men. You don't tell me it's an all male show. Bitch for days. Like, no.
More unnecessary sexualization.
Oh my goodness. It's so frustrating. It's like, So
do you find yourself on those shows, like you get booked on them and you don't even know that they're going to be like marketed like that?
Yep.
And then you just stand there with egg on your face thinking about the irony of it, right?
Yeah, no, the last one I said something. We had 4 shows. We had 2 shows, like a 7 p.m. and a 9:30 p.m. on like a Friday and a Saturday. And on my last show, I said something about it, just like on the mic or whatever, like, yeah, give it up for Gary, the male booker. Because I'm like, what? Just, because it sounds weird, right? It sounds weird.
Yeah, it's too many words.
The next comic is a male comic.
Yeah, exactly.
I pissed a comedian off one time. Yeah, like sometimes I say shit and I'm like, oh, I must have been sleepy. Because I don't even remember saying this. And I know that when I get sleepy, I get out of pocket. I was hosting a mic and this guy had hit me up and he was like, hey, can I hit your open mic or whatever? But he didn't have a reel to send me. And I was like, yeah, you just better be funny.
Ooh. Set the bar high.
So I go to introduce him. And I forget exactly what I said, but it was something along the lines of, all right, next up to the mic is another white guy that thinks he's funny. Give it up for such and such. I don't even remember saying that, but I would have been mad if I was introduced like that too.
I would have loved it. And I'll kind of tell you why.
Why?
There's a person in my life that introduced me to some relatives of his, and they're all Hispanic. And he said, he introduced another person, and he said, "This is Steven. He looks Hispanic. He's not. He's actually Southern Vietnamese, but he appreciates the culture." And I looked at this guy and I said, "I swear to God, if you don't introduce me the same exact way as you just introduced Steven, I'm gonna be fucking pissed." And he looked at his father-in-law and he said, "Hi, this is Thomas. He's not Mexican, but he appreciates the culture." And anytime this person introduces me to other people, that's how he has to introduce me, and I love it because it's
No matter
it's this awkward, funny inside joke scenario that we get to spring on other people.
Yep, I like that.
It's great. Obviously, I'm not Mexican, but you wouldn't know by looking at me that I love tacos. It's just an assumption, but I want everybody to know that I appreciate the culture.
Here for it.
It's that kind of slow rolling awkward that I like to find myself just right in the middle of.
I feel you. I like that. Just when you find your people that can be awkward with you.
Yeah, it's the best. Love it.
Yeah, that's community. I like that.
So my little broke best friend that I bought the PS5 for, he's the one that, like, I don't know if you keep seeing this door open, but he's like pulling the dogs out. Like he's like crawling in because he knows I'm on this call, and he'll like pull the dogs out. And then he just came and brought me this, which is the game that his dad got for him for his PS5. It's a digital PS5.
Oh.
This means nothing. This is like $60 for nothing.
No.
So now we're trying to figure out what to do with it.
No. See, that is such a modern problem. That is such a
Yes, that is legit. Oh, I hate myself. My consumerist ass. Fuck. Yes, that's terrible.
I could not imagine. Like, when they announced that they were going to be like digital only consoles, I was like, that is true. We don't need disc anymore. We don't need like that's.
But I dare you to tell me that staring at an empty shelf is equally as satisfying.
Thank you. I love my physical media.
Right,
for
exactly.
no reason than to just. Because I think that's just like a generational hoarder thing. It's like, these are all my DVDs. They're all...
I have a very select few, but they're all about 6 feet away from me right now on this shelf right over here.
That's how I am with books. Like, yeah. I appreciate Audible for the convenience of it all. Like, when it's a book that I have to get through, and I do a lot of traveling, so it's like now it's just podcasts. Like it's not necessarily a book, but a physical hard copy books, man.
Yeah,
that's my love language.
I like to put I don't put my books on the bookshelf until I've read them, because I used to keep them all on the bookshelf, and people would be like, "Oh, what's this one about?" I have to be like, I haven't read. I don't know. I haven't read it. Do you like this one? It's just on the book. So do you
just like have them randomly laying around the house, or like?
There's a stack on next to my bed is a stack of, and I also like to buy books. I like to buy books more than I like to read them, apparently, because the stack keeps growing. Yeah,
you're a consumerist too. Look at you. Hell yeah, America. Fucking first world problems. We're back to it.
Yep. I'm the same way though, like with things, like I'm definitely a consumerist. Yeah. I like things, I like electronics, I love like technology. Technology is my favorite. Like, swear to God, when AI takes over, I'm just gonna just give up. I will surrender because my whole house, AI is my co-parent. Okay, Alexa, come on at 9 p.m. to remind my kids to take out the trash and wash the dishes. You know, like she turns on to soothe the dogs when they start barking and all this stuff. You know,
That's incredible.
I'll remind you at 9 p.m. By the way, when your reminder rings,
you're listening too hard right now.
So have you?
Alexa said, "My time to shine." Here's all your business I'm gonna put out on this podcast real quick.
I'm not gonna edit that part out. No. You ever had Alexa tell your kids they're never too old to get an ass whooping?
What?
Yeah. I had my Alexa tell my 7-year-old he wasn't too old to get an ass whooping one time. Yeah, it worked out. Yeah.
You said, Alexa, tell
No. I had a reminder set for this message to play at a certain time, and I knew some shit was going to be going on, so I just kind of like worked this scenario up against him.
7, he's definitely not.
You're not too old to get an ass.
I'm 31. I'm still on my best behavior at my parents' house. I'm not. No, you don't. 7, no.
Yeah.
I'm a millennial parent, so we like to talk about our feelings and shit.
I like that.
Yeah. So like my oldest son, I whooped him. He got like a handful of whoopings before I changed parenting techniques.
Oh, I feel so bad for him.
Me too.
No. He can look at his sibling and be like, you don't know what it's like. She used to
have
hit me.
No idea.
She used to hit me.
His little brother's the one that needed it. His little brother, this motherfucker think like, okay, can we talk about how like ungovernable Drake is?
Look,
like,
we can talk about whatever
Drake
we want. This is my show.
Out in these streets.
We can
and my youngest son has this mentality like Drake, and I'm like, bruh, like I'm still, the hood is still in me. Like I will choke you out. I will probably choke you out before I hit you. I'm like, nah, like full Nelson. Like you
give him the $1 million dream.
Like there are consequences out here. You can't just be doing whatever you want. There are.
Well, you better make sure they at least pay the taxes because they ain't too turned up.
Embarrassing.
I love that you like, made the shift over, but I think that's so funny that like your oldest is like, you don't know what it used to be like.
No, if they do that right, if you coerce your older child to work with you with the younger child, you don't have to hit the younger child at all. You just have to get really good, well-placed threats about it from the older child.
True.
Yeah.
True. I can start reminding them both though. I think everybody needs a reminder.
Well, just put a little voice message on the robot.
Yeah, set your Alexa.
Yeah. It'd be like 7:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. Don't forget to remind so-and-so they ain't too old for an ass whooping. And then you're like across the house a couple of days later and you hear it. And like, what the fuck?
How'd your 7-year-old react to that?
He looked at me and he was like, that robot's got an attitude. So legit watching him interact with technology has been really, this specific type of technology has been really fun because sometimes he still can't pronounce things well enough at a volume for the microphone to really pick up on it. So he gets frustrated. Right. And like watching him say the cuss words that he knows and like stomp and be like, why isn't it listening to me? I was like, dude, it is, but you just there's something about it that ain't clicking, and he'd just get frustrated and be like, well, and then like, fine, play Itsy Bitsy Spider, and then Itsy Bitsy Spider. That would be the one thing that he would always go back to, the one command he could pull off. He hasn't really messed with it a lot.
He just wants to feel like something listens to him. He just wants to feel like he's being heard. Like even if all he can control in this world is that Itsy Bitsy Spider plays, it gives him some sense of control.
I took the voice speech search off the PlayStation, so he had to spell shit.
No, that's cruel.
Yeah, it's like he got to type that shit out, buddy. You gonna learn to read somehow. No, he's good enough with his
Anytime I
reading.
get logged out of something on my PlayStation, I'm just like, well, I'm never logging back in. I am not.
Well, you know, so far in his use of my gaming consoles, he has not shafted me like that any at all. So that's nice. I fully expect it to happen one day, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you give a small child a remote, and shit's gonna hit the fan at some point. That's just law of nature of the universe. It's just how shit goes.
This is this is a digital native. We are digital colonists.
Right.
These are digital.
I can look at him and be
natives.
like, you don't know what it's like to
turf.
put a VHS in a VCR. It's like, you don't. They have people alive right now that don't know what it's like to push it in and feel it engage and just be like, the whole shit. I feel sorry for those people because there's some inherent frustration to a device like that keeps you grateful of when it works.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, it didn't eat the tape, like when the cassette doesn't get all fucked up, like, damn, it worked. The Little Mermaid was fantastic.
I thought the video head cleaner was the coolest thing in the world. When my dad would get like the oil out and like put it in the thing and put the video head cleaner, I thought that was dope. I broke my parents' VCR because all I knew was like I opened Lion King's on the TV. I opened Little Mermaid's on the TV. I wanted to watch Power Rangers, so I stuck my action figure into the VCR.
It's the thing. Put it in the thing. It comes on the thing. It's solid logic. I put a Power Ranger in the VCR and it made the noises. It works. I swear.
It works. Anytime I think about me as a kid, it just confirms that I'm nowhere near ready. I'm nowhere near.
Well, at least so far.
I'm like,
you seem to be adulting at least reasonably well enough today. So that's good. If there's a cat that runs across my lap, don't be surprised. Yeah, that one.
A clue. Yeah.
So both of the animals in my immediate vicinity are cantankerous pricks. My cat over here, if she knows I'm on a phone call like this, I'm surprised she's not been like all up in my camera for real. And then Magnus, the German Shepherd, I'm taking care of. All my friends are out of town. It's just a big doofy, four-legged, lazy thing. No work drive whatsoever. You'll hear the floor creak as he walks around, not because he's fat, it's because my floor creaks.
Same. I got the same issues.
Yeah, it's common. It happens to the best of us. Squeaky floors. But, they both get all up in my shit, so.
I'm impressed with how well behaved y'all's pets are.
Oh, I'm talking about the animals.
Being kidnapped. I think that they're being held hostage upstairs because my boys know that I be on calls and I can't have the dog. I'm also allergic to my pets.
Oh, that's rough.
I mentioned that.
Masochism.
I have a severe pet allergy. I take medicine, so I take a daily pill, nasal drops, or eye drops and nasal sprays. But I can't be around cats at all. With my dogs, I can be around them. I just can't touch them too much.
Yeah.
Like, scratch up their dander or whatever. And they can't sleep in a room with me because I will stop breathing.
Oh, my gosh.
When you talk about trauma,
serious.
this all makes more sense. Much more sense when you talk about trauma. If you live like this, I don't understand how you torture yourself and still have a smile on your face.
Yeah. I love a good toxic relationship. What you mean?
Then you should have fucked that guy.
That's where I thrive.
Was it the kid's idea? Was it your idea to get the dogs?
So when me and my ex split, I had gotten the kids hamsters, but first of all, can we talk about how you never seen a hamster in the wild? Fuck, where did hamsters come from? But hamsters it wasn't the tea, and I was just about to buy a house. I was like, my ex had been gone for a few years, and I was like, I'm not buying another hamster. Fuck that. No. They just stink, and they're not that interesting.
They're really not.
So, yeah,
You're right.
no. And I was
Hamster bit me when I was a kid. I've had a grudge ever since.
Fuck them. They're rats.
They're rats.
But I was living in an apartment complex, and everybody around me had pets. They had dogs, cats, or whatever. And when I had texted the apartment manager about us getting like a small little anything, he was like, "No, it's against the rules." And I'm like, "But it's 8 apartments, 7 of them have pets." Right. He's like, "Well, they're not supposed to, blah blah blah, or whatever." And I'm like, "But it was a lot of shit going on with that. Fuck him."
For the record,
a friend had posted on Facebook. I had just started the process to buy this house. And a friend had posted on Facebook, I got these free lab hound mixes. If you want one, hit me up. They'll be ready in like 2 weeks. Here's the pictures. And I watched the post for like a week to see if they were all going to be claimed, because I'm like, if they are claimed, you know, at the end of it, then it wasn't for me. It wasn't meant for me to have a dog that I'm going to have to invest in and all this stuff or whatever. Right. And it was like, it just kept coming up, and it was like one picture kept coming up on my timeline, like one of the dogs. It was like dog number 7 or whatever. And I'm
got you
this
so
little
hard.
motherfucker is cute. Look at him. So I hit her up, and I was like, "Is that one male still available?" She was like, "Yeah, nobody's claimed him yet." And yeah, we got him. So I got him when he was like 8, 9 weeks old, back in April of 2020.
That's
awesome. And like I said, yeah, but he ain't been socialized, like, because he was a pandemic puppy. Wasn't nobody going down taking no puppy to no damn dog park. I'm like, I don't want to die. We still ain't know what COVID was for real, you know?
What a weird, like, I know we're not, like, out of the woods entirely and all that, but just lockdown, full lockdown, such a weird time. Like,
Yo, Brandi, did you have plans to be about town the day Knoxville shut down? Because I sure as fuck did.
I was at work. We had a group. That came in. It was Chordata. I forget where they're out of or whatever. But I remember when everything shut down and they were here, and everybody's like, nobody even wanted to touch each other. You know, it was one of those things, and they're like, we don't know how we're going to get back. Like, what's going on with the plane situation?
Right.
Like, and then, like, I work, Highlander is out in Newmarket, Tennessee. So driving back into Knoxville, it was just like the kids had gotten home from school early, and then they were getting ready for spring break, and they were like, you know, we don't know. The teachers are saying that we're not going to come back after spring break, and I was like, you going somewhere after spring break? She said you ain't going back to school.
I need y'all out of this house from time to time. Get the fuck out of here.
So I remember like that whole week. It was just like, wow. And I remember being one of the motherfuckers. I was wiping out. Like, I had always used Instacart since Instacart came to Knoxville.
Oh, sure.
I don't like being outside. I don't like being in grocery stores. I don't like people like that. Like, you know, I like in a distance. Like, I don't stage you in your seat. I love this. I love this relationship. I don't need you up on me while I'm trying to buy milk. Like, you know. So I had done Instacart for a while, so I was pissed when the delivery time went from like a 2-hour window to like a 2-week window. Damn. Like, there was a time where Instacart, the delay was but I was still wiping off my groceries.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I was that person. Like,
we didn't know what anything was going. We weren't shaking hands. We were wiping down all the services. The job I was working at never shut down and never sent us home. So we were just coming into work like Cloroxing everything and wiping everything. Like, it was such a weird, scary time.
My boss sent me home for like 6 weeks. Like, before he figured out how essential of a business we were, since my day job is in, I guess, technically advertising and signage. So, you know, that's a communications business, so it's under the essential umbrella. So, you know, then my ass came back to work. But that free time I had off was the tits. But the shit that was going down the day Knoxville was like, nah, we give up, shut it all down. I was supposed to go like see a concert that day, and it was like the week of my birthday. So the 23rd of March is my birthday, and that's when everything shut down. So I was like, well, damn. I was supposed to go to a show that night and see pigeons playing ping pong at the milling mine. I didn't get to go because all the world went upside down. So I just came home, And between work and home, I stopped at the grocery store and got a cake and a cheesecake because
No toilet paper.
no,
No paper.
no. I had plenty of toilet paper. Fuck that.
What
That
happened to the toilet?
that whole
I still
toilet
don't
paper mess.
understand.
That whole toilet paper mess was some fuck shit, and I hate people for it.
What did
I
that
swear
have
to
to
God.
do with anything?
It was my
Someone
birthday.
told us we needed toilet paper, and we just started hoarding it. Like, what did that?
Right. Well, that's the 24-hour news cycle for you.
Yeah.
Sensationalism. Ha ha. But so I was like, all right, fuck it. If I can't be out and about town with my friends, I might as well just sit here on camera on Facebook Live and like eat cake and talk to people. So that's what I did instead of going to the show.
Let them eat cake.
Yeah, I fucking did. And
then
then
I bought my house. I bought my house because there was nothing else to do. If that makes any sense.
no, it makes no more and no less sense than anything I could have said in this scenario.
Right?
I don't.
I was still drinking at the time, and like everything, all of the social gatherings had moved online. So I had went to like this matchmaking thing and was drinking ginger beer and vodka. I don't know. It was a very strange combination of things that I shouldn't have been drinking, but this is when I would drink anything. And I had gotten a little buzz on these little virtual dates, and I had went on Facebook and I saw that my friend was doing like this financial literacy course at like 9:00 at night.
Oh wow!
So you got in there drunk.
What's about?
That's what you're getting at. You got in there drunk.
And she was talking to this lady. This lady was like, she's like a finance coach, like a what do you call them?
CPA?
Yeah. And she was like, my friend, she encouraged me. She's the reason why I got the job at Highlander. She's also a poet. Like, we have been friends from the artist scene. Anything that she ever says to me, I always take her advice. She has never steered me wrong. Right. So when she told me, she was like, you need to get on her calendar. I got on her calendar. I set it up for the next available appointment, which was that next morning at like 9:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
I was talking to her. We got on that call, and she started asking me questions about my finance goals, about where I was currently or whatever. And I was like, well, I ain't really got no goals. I guess I want to buy a house. And she was like, well, why don't you have a house now? And I was like, well, when I tried to buy a house, I was told that I couldn't because my credit was bad. And she said, well, how long ago was that? I was like 4 years or whatever. And she was like, have you done anything with your credit since? I was like, I don't know. She was like, pull your credit score. Pull your credit score, share the information that you feel like sharing with me, and we'll go from there. And when I gave her that information, she said, bitch, you need to buy a house tomorrow.
I love that. Oh. You weren't kidding. You literally pandemic boredomed your way into buying a house.
I did.
That's got to be the most back ass
that.
That only makes sense in pandemic context. Like, you could never be like, oh, I just checked my credit score and decided to buy a house. Like,
no.
I've always had this feeling though that like everyone got locked down and like was home and they all came out of the lockdown like better people. Like the lockdown was just a cocoon and they all learned how to make sourdough.
I cannot shake my head hard enough. No, absolutely not. No, I came out a bigger heathen and more honest about it on the other side. I was like, I'm into terrible things and I feel no shame. Look at me, I'm bewildered.
I came out a little fluffier, like, a little bit more jiggly. There was a lot of pastries and sweets that went down,
Yo, I feel like
that was my whole diet was anything nearby that did pickup delivery. So it was cookout drive-through. Do y'all have cookout in Knoxville?
We have cookout.
Yes. All right. Cool. I honestly should have planned the tour around which places have cookout because that is my go-to.
All right, so I'm gonna pose you an alternative to this cookout idea, which I'm enthusiastic about.
Okay.
I like where your head's at on this, but if it's feasible, you should do a tour where there are cities that have pals.
Yes,
and
I was hoping you would say that. I was hoping you would say that.
if you don't know what a pals is, Wheels, let me kidnap you for a little while and take you 45 minutes away from Knoxville so you can be a part of this deliciousness.
They'll be staying in Newmarket, which is not that far from Johnson City
Well,
or Jefferson City.
yeah, the Jeff
So
City
we can get
Pals.
to a pal.
The Jeff City
School
Pals
me
is
on
my.
the pals. So what's a pals?
Oh, son. Oh, oh. I just forced my childhood comfort food into this conversation, and I don't give a damn because you're about to learn something. If you've ever been driving along in East Tennessee, Western Kentucky, or Southwest Virginia, and seen this weird shaped Lego ass looking building that's like sky blue with a French fry, a milkshake, a hot dog, and a cheeseburger on it with a giant, the biggest one you could possibly get, American flag out front. This is a Pal's, and if you could consider it godly forms of fast food, it is godly forms of fast food because it is essentially the best burger you can get with minimal human interaction and not get out of your car.
I mean, freaky fast, lightning fast service.
And they have seasoned French fries called Frenchy fries. And if you don't immediately just ejaculate in your pants when you eat these things, you've done it wrong. Because the Frenchy fries are the epitome of fries, in my well-seasoned opinion.
So it sounds like it's going to be an easy sell for the group because that sounds great. You had me pre-ejaculation. Makes me premature. I don't know, but I was with you. I was with you before you mentioned that point.
Well, I'm glad we're all on the same page here. It's only a metaphorical orgasm, but it is as serious as a real one. That's serious,
right?
But in all honesty, like to bring it back to be real, it's a solid fast food burger. The fries are fucking delicious. The milkshakes are good. It's in a funny building. It's got character. I love the place.
Just how excited both of you got. I'm I've never heard of Pals before, and I feel, thank you for, disavowing me of my ignorance on this, because I'm down. Yeah,
I will happily separate you with gentle force away from your ignorance about never having a chili double cheeseburger.
Ooh.
See,
do like all those words in that order.
See his face? I saw his face. Yeah. So, Brandi, do you have a Pal's order that you get every time?
I get just a regular Pal's meal. I am a Libra. It is hard for me when you present options to me to actually make a decision. So I gravitate towards what I've had before and I know I like. So yes, I get the regular Pal's with everything on it and a large Frenchy fry and a large Razzie tea.
My girl, yes, Razzie tea all the way. Yes. I am so pleased to hear this. You have no idea. I gave you some idea, but that physical iteration of this excitement is not enough. Razzie tea or Razzie Dr. Enough is the way to go.
I've never had the Razzie Dr. Enough, so I'll try that. I like a good recommendation.
Razzie Dr. Enough is also tip top.
I don't know how much y'all can appreciate just like I've never heard of any of these terms, just what the sounds of these words all sound like to me.
Okay, so we can unpack this a little bit for you. A Razzie, well, the raspberry is shorthand Razzie for flavor additives for the drink. So you get a Razzie sweet tea, that's a sweet tea with raspberry. You got peach, you got other flavors too, but Razzie is the way to go. And then
sorry, go ahead.
Dr. Enough is a regional tonic water soda kind of thing that's really popular in East Tennessee and Virginia around here.
Okay.
And that also with Razzie or peach is delicious.
Well, it sounds like if I don't do that, then I'm not doing the trip right. It sounds like I'm not.
Yeah, the whole tour. If you don't get Pals while you're in
Tennessee
Knoxville, the whole tour is just rough, man. Like you really gotta step right here and make the right stop now, so you can carry that momentum through the rest of it. You can just ride the Frenchy fry high all the way to the end of the tour.
That'll be the next tour. The next tour is sponsored by Pals, and we only go places that have a Pals.
You don't have to let people know I came up with this idea, but no, I'll be at every stop.
What are you talking about? You pitched it on mic. I'm not gonna.
It doesn't have to be common knowledge. I'll just be happy to see good comedy and eat cheeseburgers. Yeah, I'm a simple man.
Steve Jobs you when you came up with the idea in front of everybody? No, this is your idea.
I'm a humble cheeseburger enjoying human being, I swear.
Me too. Okay, in Knoxville, where's your favorite burger?
Oh shit. So it's been a long. Let me preface this. It's been a long time since I've been to Stock and Barrel, but that place has a really good opinion, and really good opinion in my.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking like not corporate-y shit. So like Five Guys is off the list.
Yeah.
I love Five Guys, but that's everywhere. I really enjoy the burgers I can get at Sunspot, even though that's not like a traditional cheeseburger. The Copper Cellar $5 cheeseburger was amazing until they had their corporate buyout the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to miss that personally.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh yeah, they closed down officially. I think last week because that property was purchased for like some $3 billion or some shit.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, so we don't have to talk about how depressing the strip is. That's just relevant current events.
Yeah. Hey, what's fucked up is the cookout. One of the cookouts is on the strip.
Mm-hmm. There's also one on Emory Road, and there's one on Kingston Pike as well. So we got that covered, unless you live in like deep South Knoxville.
Emory? Isn't there one on Emory Road?
There is, yeah.
Okay. So like you can go out to the country, you can go out to like with all the bougie white folks, or you can go with the college kids.
Yeah.
Depends on what your steez is.
Oh, Perfect Cheeseburger Knoxville, or my favorite, the Voodoo Burger at Voodoo Brewing is a really good cheeseburger. I like that spot a lot.
Okay, so I don't drink beer. I don't drink at all. But I went to Amici's in Maryville, which is an amazing Italian restaurant. But they had this peanut butter and jelly beer from Zool. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with it? Are you familiar with it?
Not that particular beer, but I am familiar with the brewery. I've drank a lot of their stuff. It's probably going to taste a lot like what it says it does because they usually try to name things pretty darn well. And in general,
the people I was with, they were like losing their shit. They were like, "This is childhood in the glass."
Listen,
it's like Saturday.
I've had plenty of peanut butter and jelly beers, and some of them hit, and some of them don't. That's two really weird flavors to put together in a beer. I mean,
right?
They were drinking it like it was Kool-Aid, though. I was like, okay,
well, it's really hard to find a good example of those two flavors in a beer. Like, if you find a good one of those, you should buy a 6-pack, because you won't find another one this calendar year. For real, it's hard to find a good peanut butter and jelly beer. And like I said, those are just weird flavors to have in a beer in the first place. But yeah,
Knoxville really likes beer. Knoxville has a new brewery popping up every day. One of the first.
That's the only way Knoxville raises property value. They put a brewery in the neighborhood.
Gotta be. It's like fuck sidewalks. Brewery.
Yeah. You don't need to stumble home not in the street. Fuck. Yeah, exactly.
But one of the first things I remember about Knoxville when I moved here was that damn news conference of the Chi or Chi Pi Chi fraternity that was butt chugging.
That's when you landed here?
Around that time,
oh my God. What a time. Knoxville was national news that week.
Did someone get...
He got alcohol poisoning, ended up in the hospital.
Through his ass.
Because of it. Yeah, and when it was investigated, it was like, oh, he was butt chugging. And that's just putting funnel of beer up your booty hole. Apparently, you get drunk faster that way.
There's so much astonishing me. That astonishes me about butt chugging.
I'm gonna fuck you up.
You don't have to taste the Miller Lite that way.
So there's a newscast that you can see about it, and the thing that I remember is the lawyer saying, and despite there being rumors about my client being gay, he wants everybody to know that he is not a homosexual. So there's that.
Son, nobody... What?
Yeah, that's what he was worried about after making national news for putting booze in his ass.
That's the reputation. What?
The
Well,
masculinity is so fragile.
I started talking about this with a friend, a comedy friend, one time. Like, I bring it up whenever anybody talks about beer in Knoxville. I was like, yeah, because I like it up the butt. But she was at UT at the time. She was actually in the sister sorority and let me know that the girls weren't allowed to drink, to be seen drinking alcohol. Like, it was just a rule of the sorority, but they weren't allowed they were allowed to be drunk. So how do you get drunk without drinking? You take a tampon.
I knew it. I knew you were going there.
Soak it in alcohol, and then you stick it up your high.
So
that can't be
healthy, safe.
Yeah,
sanitary.
That's how you live on the edge when you're
this
young.
campus was called UT.
Yeah, it's that close to UTI.
They were literally unbelievable.
Yeah, we're a world-class college.
Yeah.
World class in many respects.
Like it.
World, yeah. You take that CL out. My word.
It's so astonishing to me that anyone ever came up with like, butt funneling or the tampon. Like it's amazing to me that someone thought of it, but then they like said it out loud.
Well, so here's the thing: like, was the first person
listened.
Did the person that think of it were they the first person to do it, or were they like, hey dude or hey lady, you should do this and see what happens?
I feel like this was like tradition. This really feels like it feels very tradition-y.
Also, speaking of shit like this, Brandi, have you seen Sorority Village from the air? Have you ever seen an architectural drawing of the layout?
No.
I don't want to ruin it for you because I could, but I need you to Google this because
right now.
Yeah, I want to see your face when you figure out what this thing looks like. I will tell you the architects had a sense of humor when they designed this shit. And then I'll let you describe it.
Oh my God, why is it that I typed in sorority? Sorority Village is the third search option out of everything in Google. Okay, let's look. And, we're looking at
She said, oh.
It's that overhead.
Yeah, like the architectural drawings from the project, like the really fancy ones they show the public.
What?
Is that a clip?
That's not what I expected you to say, but maybe.
Well, that's so, okay.
Now I feel like we're looking at Rorschach painting now. Are these ovaries?
So the road in the sorority village just off campus is like a crooked dick. And I don't...
Okay, see,
we're looking at different things, because I'm seeing reproductive, yes, but not...
No, if you... I'll have to... Let me share with you the image later, but...
Okay.
Some architect...
I see even crooked dick now, though. Yeah, there's a lot going on here.
Some architect, I don't remember who it was, but they had a real sense of humor when they're like, haha, sorority village, dick and balls right in the middle of it.
I do see it.
I see the dick and balls. It's definitely balls. And then, so in the middle of the balls, that's what looked like the clit to me.
Okay, so that's like a fountain gate.
There's so much happening.
This is a very phallic walkway or driveway or place for you to move around inside this. It's ridiculous. I
feel like this is like the grossest version of like that like a duck rabbit picture. It's like we all just like saw.
Yes, I agree. 100%.
It's a taint. It's a taint for sure.
I see it.
Can't unsee it. And that was posted in public.
You see the dick? No, I see the clit.
That was so. This image made its rounds on like local news, like Channel 8 and Channel 6, and everybody had it up on the screen. They're like, "Look at it! It's the new sorority village." Blah 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 blah. And it's like everybody was so happy for UT. Oh, look, they're building the new sorority village, and nobody was like, "That's a dick."
So, oh my God, we had at Highlander. We had our September Clark Learning Center. But the way that they outlined it with this like tape or whatever right before they broke ground, it looked like a dick because it was like, okay, we got a little half circle, and that's gonna be where the little patio is, and then the shaft, like the main building is like the shaft or whatever. And I was like, oh, so can we call it the Dick Johnson Memorial Library?
Yo,
Looks like a dick. It's
like I'm calling it like I see it. Penis.
It's always rough when you're the first person to see it because it's like, dude.
What do you say?
I'm not the only one though, right? I'm not the this.
Damn. Well, we was picking out the lighting for it. I was like, they were like, does anybody have a preference in lighting or whatever? And I was like, as long as it's not ceiling titties. And they were like, what? And I was like, y'all know what a ceiling titty is. It's the little nipple on it.
Yeah. It's got...
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
If anybody gonna say it, it's gonna be me.
Well, I mean, you know, everybody done thought about it because we all seen that shit on the internet at least once.
Like, come on now. I remember the first time I saw that meme. It was a guy, he just posted a picture of it. He was like, yeah, my mom about to take my phone away, so now I'm going to have to just jack off to this ceiling titty.
Yep. And it's just one boob, too. It's not like you got a nice symmetrical pair to look at. You're going to have to imagine the second one or do twice the work.
Yep.
Like, how much do you want to put into
it? Bigger. You know? Maybe it's LED. I don't know. Fluorescent.
Nothing's worse than replacing the light bulb in those either, because then you just got to put your fingers on the nipple and you just twist.
Yo.
That's not what you're doing right now.
That's unrealistic expectations for playing with titties. You can't treat a real titty like you treat one of them ceiling titty lights. You cannot do it. Because you can't be on the ground like one hand and then twist with the other and hope the shit don't fall and hit you in the face. God, no. No.
Ceiling titty is a two-hand job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then two regular titties, if you're good, is one hand per.
So I try not to like Kanye West anymore. I used to be a really big Kanye
Titties
West
to Kanye
fan.
West.
I apologized for him for so long. I rode with him for so long.
But there's some shit that he says, and I'm just like, you're a fucking idiot. And be like,
was it the Jew hating part?
Because they prove I can focus on two things at once. Hey.
Yeah, he's been on the internet. He saw that as a tweet. He saw a picture of a tweet that said that on the internet.
Yeah,
as we all have.
For sure.
I rode with him for so long. I tried. I was like, y'all don't understand. This man's a genius. He's going through stuff. His mom died. Just give him some patience. Give him some time. Like I loved Kanye.
So when did you stop apologizing for his ass?
Oh, okay. Sounds to me like slavery was a choice. I was like, okay, that's bad. That's a bad.
That's where he lost me too.
That's a bad. Like,
you know what? I'm glad y'all both lost him at the same time. Because if you didn't,
it was just the way he said it. Because it was just like 400 years of slavery. That sounded like a choice to me, bitch.
Yeah, I don't. And he said it serious too, like he meant that shit.
I did a soft cancellation of Kanye because I love Kanye. So once he said that, I was like, all right, I'm done with you. But I'm gonna still listen to everything you made up to Life of Pablo. Anything you released after Life of Pablo, I'm not listening to anymore. But anything you put out before slavery was a choice, I'm listening to. And then once we got to it's on site with Jewish people, I had to be like, okay, fine,
Yo, I tried my best. I wish I would have watched that full interview, but when he started going left, I love Drink Champs. I had to cut that shit off, and then it was removed the next day, and I was like, oh. Okay, so I wasn't tripping. It wasn't just me.
No,
I thought
this
shit was wild.
Okay. This isn't just a normal Drink Champs. Okay, good.
Wow. I can't say I was ever on the Kanye train, but I did enjoy the shit show. So, full disclosure. Full disclosure. The shit show, top tier.
Yeah. I was really expecting to hear the cat.
Yeah, I know, me too. My bad.
Held the mic up to the cat.
I'm shit.
But why you do this? Talk to people.
Like, you know what?
And then she meows over there.
A bit more tail on that cat. I ain't gonna hold you.
Look, that cat, she got an ego. I can't say too much around her. She hears everything I say, and she got a big old ego. So I can't just be like, yeah, I got a cute cat. I'll go like, yeah, she's really fucking cute. Oh my God. Because she'll look at me and she'll know I said some shit. It's like the opposite of when you feel guilty and you are guilty and somebody looks at you and you're like, oh, you look guilty.
Right.
It's the exact opposite of that. She's like, oh, you said some shit. I know you did.
I know you did.
No, you did. I heard it. Like, it felt good. Thank you. And she'll just prance around right outside of arm's reach. I'm a cute bitch. Yeah, cats. She is cute though, I ain't gonna lie. Can't not compliment her sometimes.
You're not gonna. What you gonna do? Pretend?
No, I can't do that. No,
yeah.
no, I cannot pretend. I can't be mean to her all the time.
Yeah.
I feed her and pet her and stuff. I like my cat.
Can we talk about how today's dogs is not like our parents' dogs?
Okay, look, Brandi, we can talk about whatever the fuck we want. So it's not like, hey, can we talk about this? No, it's like, we're going to talk about this. Because it's my damn show, we do what the fuck we want. So, this episode has already earned the E for explicit, so we might as well just dive the fuck in.
I didn't even ask.
Oh, no. See, if we get through this whole conversation and didn't say anything crazy, shitty, terrible, deranged, or actual cuss words, I wouldn't have put the E on it. But I had no hope in my heart of hearts that would fucking happen. Yeah, none. No, I knew shit was gonna hit the fan when we started talking about life. So, fuck it, we're here now. Most of my episodes are explicit.
Brandi, how you be?
Say what, Wills?
How do you mean the dogs today are different?
Oh, because dogs today, I remember growing up with dogs and every dog was an outside dog.
Right.
There weren't that many inside dogs. Every dog was a fucking outside dog. And then now every dog has to be an inside dog. There's very few outside dogs that exist anymore.
Okay, so
you people judge outside dog families so hard now. And that was the norm. The dog was outside. He guarded the house.
That's what his job was. That was his job. That's where he lived. That was his territory. But now, no, these motherfuckers got beds inside. They got their own channel, dog TV. You got subscribe. It's $5 a month. I found that shit out today. I thought it was free. I'm like, these niggas they don't work. They don't charge dogs for TV. That just doesn't make sense. And then now they got sensitive stomachs and shit, so they got special diets.
That's my cat. That's my cat right now. Fuck that bitch. That's my cat.
And insurance. I ain't even got insurance on my children. I got insurance on these dogs, though.
Yo, I have never bought insurance for a pet in my life. Only recently, as a fucking functioning member of society, have I had insurance for my own ass person.
You got the pet insurance.
The dog got to wait another 20 years for that insurance. Shit, I just got some.
Man, I got a good job, so that's why my boys got we got insurance. But I'm like, if I had to pay for my kids' insurance, I wouldn't be paying for my dog's insurance. But I'm scared that something happened to the dog.
Yeah, which is fair.
The dog's your child now. Back in the day, the dog was a utility. You didn't have
the real question is,
ring light or whatever. You didn't get ADT. You had a dog. That was.
You had Bruce, Bruno, Killer.
You gonna get the dog a PS5?
Huh?
You gonna get the dog a PS5?
Shut up, you.
His ass would love a dog TV subscription on PS5. He just got to bark that shit comes on. Row! Squirrels. Exactly.
hilarious.
Let me catch this dog playing duck hunt. Let me find
Some
out.
bitch. If I ever saw a dog playing duck hunt, I'd do a backflip right then and there. I ain't never done a backflip in my life, but I feel like I'd try.
From it. They talking now. You get buttons. No, I want to go outside. Excuse me.
Now,
Can you say please?
I'll be impressed when the cat is like, "Hey, feed me, bitch." You know, that's what I want. That's the reality I want. But dogs talking is hella cool. But when the cat can cuss at me like they want to cuss at me, I'm here for that.
Hell yeah.
Because I want to know what that bitch is saying.
Very comfortable with my dog, with not knowing my dog's thoughts. I'm very comfortable with that right now.
I want to know.
Oh, so all right, knowing dog's thoughts.
It's like, what's that? What's that, girl? You love me? Okay, great. Like, I don't want to know.
Yo, so my coworker posed this question to me the other day. If your superpower is being able to read other beings' minds, could you also like read the minds of animals and insects? Would that be part of the stream of consciousness coming into you that you could control and filter and interpret? Or would that just be something that would be the deafening noise of the universe that would drive you crazy?
I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that. I don't want to know what people. I really don't want to know what y'all thinking right now. I don't want to know.
You know, that's fair. You don't give a single shit about anything happening right now. I'm glad we're all here.
That's all overwhelming. You can't, because you hear people's thoughts, you hear animals' thoughts. Plants are alive. There was like some science that said that like plants scream when they get cut or whatever. Like there's like a high frequency that you can't hear, but like you cut a plant or you cut a tree or whatever, it screams. I don't want to hear that. But just hear somebody mowing the lawn and being traumatized by. No, I don't.
But then, you know, there's that. And then think about the colony of ants that's living in your backyard. What noise, dear God, would they make? And then all the bugs in the trees and all the bugs in your front yard.
No.
Like, would you just constantly...
What about all the bugs that's in your house that you didn't know was there? You just started hearing.
No, look, they're screaming.
This is nonsense.
They're screaming the same shit all the bugs outside screaming. They're just like, fuck, eat, sleep, fuck, eat, sleep, fuck, eat, sleep the whole time, you know? And there's just nothing. They're purely instinctual. They ain't got no personality. They're just like, I'm going to bust this nut and die. And then that's it. Just that's what would be in your ear 24/7 if you could hear bugs talk and think. Like, I would be pissed.
I think we've come across what I feel confident in saying is the worst superpower. This sounds like the worst. Yeah. This sounds,
but okay. So here's the flip side to that.
You're debilitated.
The flip side to this is if it was your power and you could control it, could you eventually learn to like filter those things out?
I would hope so, because my word.
Right, yeah, it would be torture otherwise.
I got a question for y'all. I ask my audiences this sometimes.
Lay it on me.
If you could be a bird, if you could be a jungle bird or a city bird, which one would you be and why? And you don't have to say specifically what kind of bird, like from the jungle or the city. But if you got one, that's fine. But if you could be a jungle bird or a city bird, which one would you be and why?
I feel like a city bird because I feel like jungle bird, you're somewhere on the food chain. That's my whole like. I'm a city bird. Yeah, I'm a scavenge for French fries.
Mine has nothing to do with food.
You're not going to eat me.
Mine has nothing to do with food. It's all about people watching. Can't watch no people in the fucking jungle. I want to be a New York. I want to be a New York City pigeon and laugh at all the fucking stupid people I see every day.
I said I want to be a city pigeon so I can eat French fries and shit on motherfuckers.
Yeah,
that's all I want to do.
I wasn't even thinking about pooping on people, but pooping on people is a plus. I love it. I didn't even think about it. I was just like, I want to watch humans do stupid shit. So I can't do that in the jungle, you know.
No. And you got to fight for your life every day. Why are there snakes and trees in the jungle? No, I live here. Wait
like, I want to eat pepperoni pizza. I don't want to get chased by a snake. Fuck me. Yeah.
Somebody was like, oh, but jungle birds are so pretty. And I said, yeah, because they got to look poisonous.
Right. Like, also, have you ever seen a pigeon in the sun?
Jungle birds are constantly passing as dangerous. That is a stressful. They can't get found out.
Yeah, you can't out yourself as not dangerous.
Predators.
And then, you know, if you've ever seen like a really healthy pigeon in the sun, they're gorgeous. They're really colorful. It's not just like some dusty gray piece of shit with wings.
Or whatever?
Yeah, exactly. They're a gorgeous bird.
We're supposed to be taking care of the pigeons. The pigeons they're feral. They're like domesticated doves or whatever.
No,
that are wild now and aren't being taken. That's why they're out there eating people food. They're supposed to be in cages. They're supposed to be
well, see, the pigeons in the trees are in
these
cahoots.
birds, and then we're like, all right, now you're gross rats with wings, and let them go be feral city birds.
I believe the birds talk to the trees, and they're like, we're gonna fuck these people up. Watch, and then like they cultivate people in society to service the trees and the birds.
I follow you.
It's like how we all worship cats at some point because everybody alive at some point has picked up cat shit in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah. You may think you're above lesser beings.
There's a power dynamic.
But how many times have you picked up your own shit and disposed of it? Never. You fucking pick up other people, small humans and small animal shit.
Hopefully never. Wait a minute. I feel like there's some situations.
Well, okay, in real life, there has to be an asterisk and some exceptions. But, it's not common. Everybody's just like, oh, look at my turd, put you away. Like we do as we scoop a litter box.
It's just that when you said that, I immediately thought about Jackass. I don't know if y'all remember on Jackass, but Steve-O could shit on command.
Which,
like,
no, never. I would. That's not the superpower I want.
Pick that shit up after filming, no?
Yeah, that's a PA's job.
You come over, you let it dry, hit it with a broom.
Their first job is being a PA on Jackass.
And somebody in Hollywood
around like a horse.
Somebody in Hollywood is traumatized and still on set to this day. Just like, at least I'm not scooping up somebody's shit, man. This is going to be a good movie. I didn't see any poop on set today.
Didn't see any poop bags,
And the one I did see belonged to a dog. Yeah, exactly.
Shit. Brandi, that's a good question. I like that. And that's a good answer, too. I didn't think about that. The freedom to just eat fries and shit on folks. Like,
yeah. I poop where I want.
Freedom.
Yeah. Don't even got to wipe.
Don't even got to wipe. Now, you know what? That's some man shit. That's definitely a man, like, observation right there. I ain't got to wipe my ass, though.
Listen, if that's a manly observation, I'll be manly. I'm just lazy. Like that's.
You know what? I'm only saying this because I've had some very interesting experiences with men here lately, and talking to my non-male friends, we have all come to the conclusion that y'all get away with at least hygiene routines as possible.
Yeah. No.
I had a friend say that it takes him more time to pretend to wash his hands than it does to actually wash his hands.
Brandi, that is not your friend.
Don't pass the joint to that guy.
That can no longer be your friend. That person is a terrorist. Wash your hands.
Do not be after that guy.
On the other side of this pandemic, and you're not washing hands. Wash it.
Don't smoke with that guy. Do not smoke
palm
with that
palm, guy. In between. Back to back.
No.
Happy birthday.
20 seconds. Jesus Christ. That's plumb foolish. Did you ask him straight to his face in that moment? What the fuck?
No, okay. So what actually happened was he smelled like hot wings. And I was like, you smell like hot wings. And he was like, impossible, I'm vegan. I was like, okay, motherfucker, you smell like buffalo cauliflower wings.
And he's like, now I feel attacked.
He was like, well, I did have those last night. And I said, well, when is the last time you washed your hands? And he said, well, I took a shower this morning. I said, that did not answer my question. My specific question to you was, when do you wash your hands? And he went on this whole fucking thing about how he doesn't wash his hands often because he feels like it's like heartbreak. You got to get your heartbreak repeatedly so you can build up the muscle to not haven't heard as much anymore. And I was like, I don't think germs work that way. I think that you just kind of made that up. Like, you should be washing your hands because bacteria, like, E. coli is a thing.
Yeah.
That's a real live thing. Like, and we prevent that by washing our hands. Shigella, you ever heard of shigellosis? Like,
wash, lather.
It's really not hard. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's not hard at all.
That is, I wouldn't take medical or relationship advice from this person. You have to get your heart broken over and over.
No, absolutely not.
I told him, I just said to his face, I said, you strike me as the type of one of them motherfuckers, like, you're very much unvaxxed, aren't you? Like, don't say that too loud because people have some feelings about it. And I was like, I don't think that anybody is surprised that
give
you
me
are
just
unvaxxed.
a second, you guys. I'll be right back.
I don't think this is the biggest secret that you think it is.
All right, Brandi,
I bet he voted Republican.
Who doesn't wash their hands and who's got dirty butts? Let's out them. Let's cancel folks.
Okay, what's real is this wasn't, neither one of these were in Knoxville. One was in Asheville and the other one was Little Rock, Arkansas. No, There is a guy. I'm not going to name him because he doesn't even deserve that attention. But he has a dirty dick. Literally, dirty dick. Dirty dick smell like shit. I didn't like that at all.
Don't show that to people. Either wash it or don't show it. You got two choices.
Show it to people. Don't try and put it inside of people.
Don't pull that out.
Yeah, I take, I like to think I wash my dick pretty well. And,
Thank you, Thomas.
I would like to say, for the record, to the public and the internet, that I wash my dick, and I try to wash it really, really well.
Palm to palm.
Yeah. I mean, in between the whole 9 yards, 20 seconds, sometimes it's less, hygiene is nice. I even use mouthwash and floss. Fuck.
Yeah.
Now, well, my question for you, Thomas Zachary.
Oh shit,
two
both
first
names.
white names. Yeah. Is, do you use a washcloth?
No, because I use like a loofah thing.
There's a utensil.
Yeah, there's a utensil. I'm not against just using my hands, but I can't exfoliate without, some kind of thing. It's not the same.
We crash on couches when we do the tour, and my friends were nice enough to put us up last year when we were doing it. The houses we were staying at, my friends are white, and the comics were asking me as we got there, and I was like, all right, let's get in. One of the comics, I was like, hey, your friends, do they have washcloths? And I was like, I can make no promises. I don't. That is a good question I should have asked before we started.
Yes.
I can make no promises. We got a free place to stay.
I
Spoiler
do
alert, they
own.
did have washcloths, and they offered to them immediately because they profile correctly.
I was gonna say they did the research. There's a lot of things that happened. They were aware.
So there's another thing about like hosting people and having people in your space that is a point of contention, and I don't know how socially unaware some people are, but if you don't have an obvious hand towel in your bathroom, what the fuck is going on with your life? Now I've been guilty.
I'm gonna dry my hands on your bath towel.
Yeah, exactly.
That's you.
I will dry my hands on your bath towel. Where's your hand towel at?
Now I've been guilty, but if new people are in my house, I'm gonna have an obvious, this is the hand towel. Dry your hands right here. Don't be using this shit hanging on the shower curtain. We all know what that is.
Because I'll do it if there's nothing there, but then it puts me in a loop, because then I feel like I need to wash my hands again. Because I know you dried. I know you dried with this, and I gotta go back now. And now it's stuck.
It's a feedback loop. It just gets worse and worse and worse. All right, y'all. We are coming up on the 2-hour mark, which has been a damn fine time. I'm going to ask Brandi to plug your shit, tell people where to find you, and then Wills, you can do yours after that. Tell everybody your socials, where to find you, where you're going to be at, and, that whole thing. Plug your shit, and then we'll fuck off into this good night.
So, I'm Brandi Augustus, Brandi Augustus. Stole that last name from my ex-husband, but it is my name. So, fuck him and his daddy.
You didn't give it back.
But my website is brandiaugustus.com. But all of the most updated information, the place where I live, everything is Instagram, and that is my name, Brandi.Augustus. My next show, I will actually be doing the Hippodrome in Richmond, Virginia. I've never been there before. Apparently, this whole big thing. I'm doing a clean comedy set for Kroger, so that's going to be fun.
Ooh, so you're going to talk about dicks for Kroger?
I will not be talking about dicks for Kroger. They don't get that said.
Okay, well, everybody that gets a not clean set gets the raucous shit. But Kroger's going to get that nice squeaky clean stuff, and that'd be hilarious too.
So that's my next thing. That's Friday, and then I just booked a gig. My first Nashville show is Saturday sometime, but I'll be sharing that on my Instagram when I get the details. So.
Sweet, glad to hear it. And Wills, give the people.
Just because I want to ask, and how many times are you doing the D&D show? When is the D&D show?
Oh yeah.
That is the last Wednesday of each month going into October.
Okay, I really wish I lived in Knoxville for that, because that sounds really great.
It's gonna be a good time.
I want to see you be a tiefling.
Well, if I randomly throw a reverse card into your D&D game, don't be surprised.
I am at Wills Maxwell on Instagram and Facebook. You follow me on Facebook, Wills Maxwell Junior Comedy, or just facebook.com/Wills Maxwell. Not on Twitter anymore. I used to be at Wills Maxwell on Twitter. I am gone. So if you want to be at Wills Maxwell on Twitter, it's up.
Damn, up for grabs.
You can buy that blue check and everything. You can go ruin my reputation. It's out there. Black Power Rangers Comedy Tour, Black Power Rangers Comedy on Instagram, Black Power Rangers Comedy on Facebook. Tickets are on sale now for the tour. We're coming to Central Cinema in Knoxville August 16th. Sponsored by Nirvana Comics, featuring Brandi Augustus. Tickets on sale now at blackpowerrangerscomedy.com or willsmaxwell.com/tour 2023. Thomas, this has been fun. Thanks so much this has been dope. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I've had a great time. I'm definitely going to try and get Brandi in a game of Uno before too long, because she was talking some shit. And Wills, if that happens, I'll make sure you know what happens. Everybody, thank you for your time and your intent, meeting me here in the middle to have this absolutely ridiculous conversation, which I've so thoroughly enjoyed. People out there in the world, listen to this thing. Go check out these people. They do wonderful things with their voices that make people happy. If you want to support the KAAMP, you can buy my artwork on TTW_artworks on the old Instagrams. You can yell obscenities at me in the street and encourage me in ways that aren't normal. That would be awesome. And share the podcast either consensually or not with your friends. Put in their ear holes or whatever holes. I don't give a shit. Just holes. They're great. This has been the KAAMP. Thank y'all very much.
Hey.
All right, I'm hitting the button.